Welcome back, everyone, to the A-Amazing podcast, the show where we dive deep into the world of marketing. Today, we have two directors discussing networking, the value of maintaining relationships, reaching out, and just not being afraid.
Today, my guests are Jesse and Sally. I would like to allow them to introduce themselves as well. So whenever you guys get a chance, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Hernandez. I'm a senior, majoring in marketing management, and I have a minor in communication studies. I'm also the social media director as well, one of the social media directors.
Hi, my name is Sally. I'm a senior majoring in corporate communication and I'm an event planning director at AMA. Nice to meet you.
All right, this is awesome. I have two directors here, and thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your time. Jesse, being social media director this semester, this whole year, how does it feel? Has it been what you expected so far?
It's definitely brought a lot of challenges to the day to day. I think being a social media director isn't really for the weak. It's really something that you really have to be tentative towards because not only are you representing a group like AMA, it's such a big group here at Baruch, but also you're representing yourself as a director. It's good on the resume too, but you're also like helping out others who are your committee members, like some we have in the room. So you definitely want to keep in mind that not only are you doing it for yourself as the director, and it's good for your resume, but you're also wanting to help out others. So finding that balance is something I'm really trying to discover this semester, especially trying to make that balance and have that set up um, for not only for myself but also for Angela because she's also taking over after in the next semester. There you go. But
I'm on sound today.
but yeah, it's definitely like it's 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 been a roller coaster, but I think once you get a good footing on it and you have a good team like we do at AMA, it becomes a lot easier. And I don't I mean, I'm sure you would agree, Sally, yourself, that once you get that good team, you definitely are in the right place and you can start doing what you want to do for the club and your ideas as far as content or anything like that. I mean, like this podcast, like it's something that we always wanted to do semesters and semesters ago. And so I'm glad that we're doing it again and we're still pushing forward that AMA content.
I totally agree with you. And then, like, as a director, we have like the same thing. Like, there's a lot of up and down, but we get through it. So, I'm also like pretty enjoying my director life. It's really fun. And like last semester was like how to be a good director, how to be like leading people, and then now I feel like I can try new thing and I can approach like in different way. So I feel like I'm doing well. I really enjoying my um AMA life. Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling it AMA life. I like that. And you guys mentioned family, and I agree, Jesse. There's a lot of challenges because you are a student as well, and you have your own personal things going on in your own life. A lot of balances. It's crazy because we all search for balance, but yet we never find it, and it's always feeling like we're putting in more work. And when is there time for me? And it's the main question everybody asks themselves. And I'm very like grateful you guys are also taking upon these roles. You guys are great people. I know you guys, so well deserved leaders and represent the club. So I guess with that being said, let's talk a little bit more about how you guys have approached networking, which is the topic of today's episode. I know you guys had to network to get to where you are right now, so I want to know what that journey is like for you. But more specifically, when you joined AMA, how did you know that you wanted to take upon a role that was of the caliber that you're doing right now? And did you know that the amount of work, networking wise, you were going to have to do was like just as like rewarding as like the journey to get where you are?
Yeah, I I don't know if you want to start out, Sally, or
You can go.
okay, I could start. Um, it's actually really funny how I got into AMA. It was really like out of a cold email. I emailed Keith and Sophia, and I was just like, "Hey, I noticed your timeline. I noticed what you guys do for Instagram. I'm loving it. I would definitely want to be a part of that in some shape or form, whether it be editing or being a part of the crew or whatever." And I didn't know what their setup was at the time, so I was just really just being like, "Hey, I just want to have an opportunity just to create videos and stuff like that." So they took that in immediately and they were like, it was at a time where they're also on the same page where they wanted to make more original content and make more different things. And so I saw that as an opportunity to bring something new and point out, hey, I have stuff that I did for this other club. I could definitely do the same thing for you guys, but if not, I could bring about some more originality to it. And so part of that is offering something new in those cold emails for sure is what I think helped me get here at AMA. But also putting yourself outside of your comfort zone in that. I'm sure not other students in my position who were sophomores weren't emailing them at the time being like, hey, I could do this and I got this, right? They weren't. And I don't know how it was for you, but it was really just off that one cold email. And that's how you start conversations with networking. That's how a lot of stuff gets going, really. I mean, what do you think, Sally?
I mean, what can I say more? I mean, you said everything. Like, I really agree with that. I really agree with that. And then, so maybe, I really think that AMA is a really big source of networking. But like, for those of who are more interested in other fields, maybe other clubs can be a really big source of networking. So from maybe like, based on my story, so I was a transfer student, and then like 2 years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, so my primary goal was, so I'm a new at Baruch, and I really want to make a lot of friends, and my primary goal was wherever I go, there's someone I can say hi, and then can like talk to like each other, and then like have fun in everywhere. And then now my dream came true. Like wherever I go, there's someone I know, and then I met someone at the AMA and the other like clubs, other like events, and I really love that. And I feel like AMA is the biggest things that helped me to make a lot of friends and network.
I mean, you're right in that. Like, I mean, AMA is just a big club here, and there are a lot of people that interact with AMA in that, whether it be we're promoting an event for them, or they just invited us to an event or something like that, or we're just in the club suite at the same time, because a lot of these club suites are shared, like everyone at these club suites. So you interact with people that not only are in AMA, but just also outside of other clubs and maybe in other fields that you maybe not have even thought of, or you have maybe even somewhat of an interest for, and so you talk to them and you get to know them more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that for sure within AMA, just as far as networking.
No, for sure. I consider AMA like the big four, like amongst the big four here at Baruch. Like they got like the big Fortune 4, like
Yeah.
Fortune 500. Like this is big four. I feel like
For sure.
I'm blessed to even step into like the big four and see like the way that everybody was so polite. And I think that the reputation is very like high as well. Like the people who have really made their impact here at this club, really, it shows, because it's like almost like a legacy, like of people like passing down like the torch. And like just to stay on topic of like the networking, I take my network really seriously. Like I don't add everybody to my network. I feel like there's levels to my network, because I approach everybody equally, but my attention is valuable. And I think that unless you have something that really stands out, and obviously it's all an opinion, like nobody is perfect and nobody has every quality. But I think that some things that stand out about people in my network is like their personality, how they approach conflict, how do they approach relationships when nobody's watching. Like a lot of it is at Baruch, I feel it's hard to see who's real and who's not, because a lot of it is just like your network trying to connect with you, or people like that wanting to get to know you better. And sometimes I get scared because I don't know people's intentions, and I feel like a lot of people just want to get to know you but don't really explain why. Like, what was it exactly that you wanted to know about me? Was it just because you wanted to get close to me for some reason? And if you have nothing to contribute, then I feel like you and my network is very important, because I feel like if everybody around me is doing well, then I will by association do well as well. And if I not constantly look at what everybody's doing, but focus on my own path, we would realize that we have more in common than we think subconsciously than we do literally like looking at each other all the time. Like I told my closest friends, like go out in the world, like all my closest friends go to different universities. Like we don't even like see each other as much, but we know when we connect, like our bond is still there. Like we don't have to worry. I feel like I treat my network the same, where it's like, Jesse, you do your own thing. Like Sally, you do your own thing. Angela does her own thing.
Mhm.
And it's like we mutually respect each other. And when it's time to collab, like we get together, you know? And I feel
Yeah.
like that's the only way to grow. And a lot of people are afraid of growing on their own. They really want to like blend in the crowd a lot. And like that doesn't make you stand out. Like that's not the right way to approach like business, or that's not the right way to approach relationships, because I consider these relationships as well. I'm a very empathetic person. And if you are in my circle, I make sure you know that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Even when I totally agree with the point that you really have to do your own thing. Like, even though these are networks that you'll make in college, and as a student, or even just in the actual work, the work. I was gonna say workforce, but we're not like in the coal mines or anything. We're like like marketing students. But these are things that you should keep in mind for sure. That your network, even though it's Zybel says this a lot. Our president, she's like, your network is your net worth. So
What a bar.
what a bar.
Whoa.
Write
But
that down.
even though it is true, networking, it helps, but you shouldn't totally think that, oh, because I know this person, I'm set. Like, no, part of it has to do with you working on that relationship, but also working on you know using that relationship to help you set up something for you within your job, or within a position that you want. Like, right, it's not a guarantee if you know someone, you're going to get a job, or it's not guaranteed they would get a promotion. It's really how you use that network, and find that balance between using it to help you and also using it to promote yourself as the individual that you are, because we're all individuals, and these hiring managers, or the hiring teams, they're not looking to you know get someone because of their network and that's it. They're looking to get someone because of who they are as an individual person, right? They're not going to hire someone because they just know someone off the bat. Like, they want to know more about you. So definitely getting this idea that your network is what's gonna make or break you after college. It's what's gonna help you. It's the only driving factor. That is something you should definitely not have in mind, and you should think about that a lot more.
No.
I think there must be a lot of people like, how can I like network with other people, and then like how it is like, maybe like some people think networking is kind of complicated, but I have my personal example, like for example, how to be event planning director. Like, it's all about networking. I mean, someone can say like it's unfair, but like it's a reality. And then I mean, like networking is not the everything, but it can be a really good like benefit of like being like making your own goal. So for example, when I first came to Baruch, like as I said, like I'm a 21st student. I have like nobody. Like there's only a few people, and then I applied to the AMA. Sad story, I was rejected as a committee member. So I was like, yeah, maybe they don't know me, and then let me try. Let me show myself to them who I am. And then I attend to every like not every but like many events, and then show my face and show them who I am and then how I am like that. And then like literally next semester I applied for the committee member, and then, oh, Sally, you're here, and then right, I'm here. And then
Yeah.
I got in, I was accepted as a committee member. And then next semester, like director asked me, oh, are you interested in being a director? Hell yeah, like why not?
Let me
That was
see.
my primary goal, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like be their friends, and then you can be a president. It's not that's not what I'm saying, but like just show who you are, and then like appeal to them. Like, I have this goal, and then I think I can make it, and then I will show you, and then that is like kind of proof to be like to make your own goal. So that's why I think like networking is really like good like that is my good example. Like, and then you don't have to like think complicated. Like, that's how we can do network. Yeah.
And it is a good example because you were persistent and the opportunity was there for you, you know? And I feel like a lot of it is like, what do you think about and what do you desire?
Mhm.
And how do you approach your desires and how do you make your dreams into reality? If it was I mean, I'm not saying it's your dream to be
like your final destination. But I'm saying like these short-term goals, like what is it? Denzel said, like dreams without goals are just dreams. Like if you just don't, if you have thoughts and you have imagination, and you don't really use your imagination because you're afraid of the consequences, I think the only thing that you can really do is like just, I guess, like if you fail, like you fall forward, like the worst thing you can ever do is fall back, because at least if you fall forward, you get to see where you're going to hit, like I'd much rather do that, especially when, opportunities come up and like, you don't get the answer that you want. Like, for example, like I was trying to intern at Warner Bros. This spring for Social Pathways through Bleacher Report. I wanted to
Mm.
do sports media,
Very cool.
and I made it to the final interview. I met the final boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wasn't big and he wasn't scary. He gave me like the chillest dap. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" And like we kicked it off, and that was fun because like I, not that I had a chip on my shoulder, but Akadu really helped me out like in terms of like getting like networking up. I don't want to do no promo or nothing, but basically the business really is now doing really well. And before, when it was like just starting out and I went to this event, number one, I was late because I was at the AMA event doing the Akadu promo. And then after I finished, I ran to the Edge. That's the building on the freaking 20 something floor. I had to run up and catch up with everybody there. I was like, "Hey, like my name's Joseph," and shake hands with a couple people. And then they're like, "All right, guys, time for interviews." And I was selected for an interview beforehand, so it was already planned. It wasn't like they chose me at the event. Like I had to go for an interview. So I emailed. I was like, "Can I just come late and do the interview?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure," like with a valid excuse, of course. So I went, and I missed most of the event. And then the interview came. The guy shakes my hand. I showed you guys. He dapped me up, and it was the weirdest thing ever because I never like, we all dream to get interviewed and then like dream to get the internship, but like when it actually happens to you, it's completely different. Like
Yeah.
you're sweating, like you're in the zone. And honestly, I was like, whatever happens, happens. Like if this is for me, it's for me. And if it's not for me, then like it'll like there will be something greater coming for me like in the future. It's also about how you value yourself, like confidence. Like, what kind of preparation have you done? And do you think the quality of your work is worthy or deemed like valuable in a company? And it's all about value. I think that business school is really missing the point on value. Like we're making a lot of good points about different aspects of business, but we're not really touching the point of what is valuable to a company. Like, can you make sales? Can you make money? If you cannot do that, then no matter what you do, if it's operations, if it's marketing, if it's finance, if you can't make the right call and you can't pick up the phone, then you'll never like get the money. Like it's not just gonna sit. It's not gonna just, the check's not gonna come every 2 weeks just because it comes in every 2 weeks. Like you really have to earn that check.
Yeah.
Like the same way you earn your positions in clubs, in the same way that networking helps you make those connections. It's like it comes down to like just taking a leap of faith. And just to finish out the interview, obviously I didn't get the position. I gave it the best that I could, but I learned that like I am capable of getting into those rooms. Like you don't know you're capable until you actually step into them. And the guy was really chill, like Puerto Rican dude. I forgot his name already, but he chilled with like Steph Curry. He was with Tom Brady. Like the dude is like met really cool people, and I got his LinkedIn. But like things don't work out. Like it's all about just how you approach it afterwards. Like how do you approach failure is another really important topic when it comes to networking, because like not everything happens the first time. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a second chance. I wonder if there's any case in your life where like you tried something and then it didn't work out. I mean, Sally, you said something already, but I want to hear if Jesse has an experience like that similar to Sally's.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've definitely, like, I mean, as a college student, you're applying like nonstop every week. Whether it be 20 applications a given week or 10. You're always just applying, because it's really just a numbers game. Eventually, you'll find something. But I can't really think of a time, like a specific time where I was really invested in, because a lot of it's just these applications that I'm kind of going through, and I'm trying to fill out as much as I can, and also trying to make sure I have my network. But I think afterwards, you do learn a lot in that, whether it be you met someone that was a part in the hiring process, that's a plus, but also that you get to know who they are. And I was going to bring this up about how you talked about, the guy, the big boss that you met was Puerto Rican.
Us.
These are people that look just like you, look like, us. Like, these are people that you meet on a day to day, and it's like it is really rewarding, and I think it helps me, especially when I see someone come from the background that I come from, whether it be, they didn't go to a Ivy League, or they didn't go to a private school, but they're in the position that they are now. That's a lot. That's really rewarding for me. I see that as, wow, if this guy did it, or if this girl did it, then what's the difference between me and them, right? It's like, it's you see a lot of these success stories, and you see them succeed in their field, and you hear their stories and how they started out. I was just at Publicis. They had, Publicis, the agency. They have an event called Rise, and it's an event where they highlight Black and brown folks who come up in the positions that they come up through Publicis, doing what they do, and coming from different backgrounds, and you get to hear a lot of their stories and how they started out, and how, some of these guys and girls will just come out from working out of a ice cream shop. Like, they won't have any experience within actual, like, within an actual white collar job or something like that. It's coming from, I was before this, I was working at an ice cream shop around the corner. I didn't have anything like that. So when you hear that, it's really eye opening in that. Wow, I could definitely do that, right? It's like, if they did that, I could definitely. What's the difference between me and them? So I think that also is part of, for me, really rewarding when it comes to networking, and I don't think it's really talked about, because, again, it's associated with networking and trying to get a job, and those two will always be the same. But it's like, it's a lot more. Networking is a lot more personal than that. It should be as a way for you to see yourself in others and kind of connect with others in that way.
I'm sorry. It's also just like learning from one another. I feel like we're missing the learning part where like education has like I feel like as you're in college, like education becomes like almost like in a lecture hall, it enters one ear and it goes out the other sometimes. And it's difficult because we are now like with social media, with scrolling, and it's like our attention spans are slowly decreasing. And I think that we like just to get to the point. And I feel like a lot of what's going on around us is not direct. Like it's a message that's very cloudy, and it's also increasingly difficult to get the truth out of people. I feel like a lot of people are not telling me what I want to hear, or telling me like the exact thing, and I'm hearing like a biased story. I'm not hearing if I asked you about how to market better on social media, and I instead of telling you what I did, I give you a scenario. Like, no, I'm asking you like for your experience, dude.
Mhm.
I'm asking you like, what is it that you did? Not because I want to replicate what you do, but I want to be inspired to do something similar. People think that everybody's gunning for their spot, and it's really sad to see that people in the business world are competitive. And I think it does happen realistically where people can replicate something and make money off it. But I think life isn't all about just making money. And I think that wealth and maintaining wealth internally, like as a spirit, as an individual, is way more valuable. Because if you really have like the knowledge, like it doesn't matter what industry you get into, like there are some things that you just can't take away from me as a person.
Mhm.
Like my grit, like my ability to network, like how to connect with people on different levels, what questions to ask, what rooms to step in. Like those are things that are destined for you. Like
Mhm.
these are things that aren't shaped by coincidence. Like I think that luck is weird because people say, "Oh, you got lucky." Like, like you're here because you're lucky. Like you're not actually like who you say you are. And it's weird because you worked hard behind the scenes, and then people assume things about you that just aren't true. And then on top of that, the luck that you actually get is because you worked. And it's like it's 90% work, and then I leave it the rest up. I leave it in the air. I leave it for the man above, because that's sometimes there are some things that we can't see. There are things that we can control. And I think a lot of people want to be in control. They're afraid. Like the fear of failing, the fear of not letting down my parents or my career. Like, what is a career? I don't even know what that is. I just go to school. Like, I don't know what an actual job is, like white collar and
Yeah.
and dealing with bosses and subordinates and stuff like that, depending on wherever you go. So it's like a lot of the networking part is the fear of going out there and actually winning. I think the fear is achieving success because once you achieve it, now what? Like once you get to the position that you really wanted to be in, what's your next step?
Of course.
We know that there is a top position. We're just afraid that if we get to the top, like where do we go? You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. I mean, and Sally, you can definitely talk about how it is with you when it comes to your network and how do you see with others. But I mean, like, what do you think about as far as is networking just all about trying to get that job, or what do you think as far as like, is there more to networking? Maybe for you especially.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
better than nothing, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
we never know where our like where does opportunity come from. Like definitely for like getting a job, but also like for the future. Like we need somebody who are good at like for example, like IT like field, but this field is like for example like fashion field, but we need some like IT guy. Then maybe oh I know somebody, and then like we can contact that. Oh hi, how are you? Like it's been a while, but like we need like the kind of person like who really good at it. Do you know somebody else, or can you like help us? Then they can help us, and then that is like I mean resourceful, right? So networking like in like many like other perspective like networking like better than nothing, and then we never know.
Yeah, and there's also nothing better than putting on your friends. Like, especially when you see the opportunity too. It's like, I know a guy, and you make that phone
Yeah.
call. That is super like awesome to hear. And like, yeah, like I feel like we really undervalue like the power of group work. I feel like it's so common that people work in groups that we don't really see the contributions that everybody's making sometimes. And I think that it's the job of the team leader or the job of the person in charge to really get people in that rhythm. Because, like you said, Jesse, our job here is to inspire people to be better. So, one way that I feel like I can inspire someone to network is honestly just connect with a friend who knows a friend. Sometimes it's really that simple. It may not be directly like the way you did it, Jesse, where you were like, let's see it. Let's see if I let's see if we score this. But like shooting your shot is part of it, but also just like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. My journey was so unique that like I can only see it from one point of view. But there are some people out there that are introverted. There are some people who find it awkward to maintain like solid relationships. Maintaining that relationship is also kind of hard too. But I feel like everybody here has a unique story. It really makes sense to where you guys are, and I'm congratulating you guys once again because it is difficult. But networking is a process, and for everybody watching, networking will be in your own thing. Like, don't take our stories and take it literal. A lot of it is because we all possess unique characteristics that make us who we are, and it makes us beautiful individuals. So you're a beautiful individual as well. Go ahead and try new things. AMA will always be here to support you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys for being here too, Jesse, Sally.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us. And even though I'm always gonna be here.
He's the ghost. But yeah, once again, thank you all for watching. AMA is always here to support you. We are a family, and hope to see you guys soon on the next episode. What?